5 actual picks of the week. A couple of them might have been revealed a bit in the teasers I like, but go ahead.
So first off, you've got Kansas City -3 versus Baltimore. Could have seen that one coming.
Yeah, I mean, well, under Andy Reid, the Chiefs are 9-2 in season openers. Mahomes is 5-1 in week 1 and 15-4 in September. I think it is a little insulting that the Chiefs are only 3-point favorites. This should be 3.5. I'm not saying it should be huge favorites, but they're at home. It is a little insulting that you're telling me you think Chiefs Baltimore on a neutral field is a coin flip.
Vegas saw the Derrick Henry Kansas City stats. And they
maybe that's what it is. Lamar as an underdog against the spread the last 3 seasons is 7-0. But I think we don't do totals on this show. I like over 46.5 more than I like Kansas City -3, but I don't bet totals in general. Kansas City -3, Chiefs laser show offense returns. That's my first bet of the year, first game of the year. Next.
All right, next you have Green Bay +2.5 at Philly.
Yeah, I mean, I think Green Bay is going to win the game. And, I mean, it says at Philly, but obviously it's a neutral site in Brazil. But I just think Green Bay is going to win. I think Philly has had half a dozen players complain about going to Brazil. I don't know what. No one has explained to me adequately why early in the year the defense is going to be fixed. Maybe late in the year when those rookies they drafted in the first and second round in the secondary get their feet underneath them. But I don't think Quinion Mitchell and Cooper DeJean in week 1 are going to be super impact players. The Phillies defense was brutal all of last year. I know they brought in Vic Fangio, but he got run out on a rail in Miami. Green Bay, on the other hand, has as good of vibes going into this year as any team in the league. They have all those receiving threats that I think really can punish the Eagles' weak back 7. Hurts, by the way, 10-18-1 against the spread in road or neutral site games. That's the worst of any quarterback since 2020. Hurts is also 6-14-1 against the spread as a favorite away from home. Matt LaFleur is a covering machine the last 5 years, 53-37. And Philly, again, has lost 6 of their last 7 straight against the spread. I know that was last year. I like Green Bay in this spot a lot. I think Green Bay is not as good as a lot of people think they are, but in this spot, I believe in them, and I think Philly is the single most overvalued team in the NFL. People have just washed away 2 months of football. 2 months of football. All right, you seem to agree with me on that one, DeMonze.
I appreciate you having a little bit of faith in them, but yeah, no, I definitely think they'll win as well. I feel very good about that pick. This next pick, I'm a lot of points, but
okay. All right. What's the next one?
The next one, Cincinnati -8.5 versus New England.
All right. Here's the thing on this. To me, this is simply a question of, can the Bengals get to 20 points? Okay? New England's not getting to 13. New England is capped out in this game at 10 points. Capped out. Their offensive line might be the worst in the NFL. Their starting quarterback might be the worst in the NFL. They have a rookie head coach. And so it is Jacoby Brissett on the road against a Bengals defense that needs to prove last year was an aberration. I understand that the Bengals historically stink early in the year. Burrow's 2-6 against the spread the first 2 weeks of the year, 36-14 after the first 2 weeks of the year. Teams that are 6.5 point. Well, hold on. I don't know how to read that stat, so I'm going to throw that one out. I know what it says, but I don't know if it's right, so just ignore it. Burrow historically has been great against the spread, but that's not what this is. The This is simply that I do not think New England is going to have a functional NFL offense. And so I think that if Cincinnati gets to 20, they cover. And what is the total in this game? Again, I'm not betting totals, but it's 40.5. So I got to do quick math on the fly here. So that means Vegas thinks this game is basically 24-16 is what they're telling us. And I'm telling you, New England's not getting to 16 points. And so I don't love laying huge numbers. I don't mind laying big numbers here. And so Cincinnati minus 8.5 against New England. Let's go to the you said it's a lot of points. I just think New England might be the worst team in the entire NFL this year.
All right. Yeah, that's fair. I was thinking of Cincinnati not being known for getting off to great starts.
It's going to be everyone's survivor pick. Everyone's survivor pick is going to be Cincinnati. I mean, that is
it's a smart bet
without a doubt. It's just going to be everyone's pick. All right, next.
So next you've got Dallas plus 2.5 at Cleveland.
Yeah, I don't believe in the Browns this year. Their defense last year was elite at home, and this is obviously in Cleveland. And this is, and bad on the road. But defense doesn't tend to carry over year to year as much as offense. And they still have offensive line injuries in Cleveland. And I think Deshaun Watson is cooked.
I'm shocked that Cleveland's favored in this game. Sorry, that kind of threw me off.
It's because they won 11 games last year with 5 different quarterbacks. That's why.
Yes.
But I don't know that we can expect the defense to be quite as dominant. And I don't think Cleveland's offense is going to be able to deal with the Dallas defensive front, Micah Parsons and Tank Lawrence. So the Cowboys are starting 2 rookie offensive linemen against this Cleveland front. That is concerning, but I think Dak and CeeDee Lamb will be a great, connection once again. I'm getting points. I think Dallas is better than Cleveland, and I think that even if Dallas is not as good as they were last year, I think Deshaun Watson could just be finished. And so Dallas plus 2.5 is one I like a lot. As I mentioned before, I really like that as a teaser leg. Getting Dallas all the way up to plus 8.5, I think is attractive. All right, last one.
You got the Rams plus 3.5 at Detroit.
Yeah, so I just think this is a field goal game. I think Detroit could win this game. Don't get me wrong. But I just think this is 27-24, 30-27, and I'm getting the half point. I think the Rams are as good as the Lions right now. Now, I'm bullish on the Rams if they stay healthy. That's obviously a huge if, and Stafford's elbow and all that stuff. But it's week 1. So in week 1, these two teams both at full strength. I think the Rams obviously can win this game. And I don't think either one's blowing the other one out. So I'm getting the extra half point. McVay, the Rams are 6-1 straight up and against the spread in week 1. They cover by an average of 9 points. Stafford, I thought, played great in that wild card game that Detroit won, but they won by a point. Now, Goff is great in openers, but a lot of that is when he was with McVay. And now this is the last kind of against the spread note for the Lions, but I think this one can be misleading. The Lions are 35-16 against the spread over the last 3 years, which is the best in the NFL. I personally am going to throw that out entirely because the Lions have been so great against the spread the last 3 years because people did not believe in them yet. Now, I think people believe in them a little too much. They're a very popular pick to make or win the Super Bowl. So now I understand it's different teams, but this game last year would have been, in fact, let me just check. Hold on. Rams at Lions playoff game. I'm just trying to check what the point spread. So last year in the playoffs, it was a 3.5 point line. I was going to say I thought it would have been 3, but it was a 3.5 point line. So I just don't think that you're going to get line value with the Lions right now. Again, like I said, I think the Rams can win, and it's a field goal game in either way. So that's where I land. All right. Hey, thanks for watching. Hit the subscribe button to get more from the show, and make sure to click the bell to get notified every time new content drops. Check out full episodes of What's Right wherever you get your podcasts, or just click the link in the description below.